Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. Thank you for joining me. Now, if you've been paying attention to the news at all this week, you may have heard about the Joe Biden scandal involving classified documents. Now, be clear, if Joe Biden has done something wrong in this case, he should be held accountable. And we'll talk about different ideas on what being held to account could look like. But first off, let's talk about what it is and isn't. What this is a situation where Joe Biden they have found somewhere around 20 documents, I believe I've read, at two different locations. One at a private office in D.C., where he was teaching classes of some sort that his lawyers were cleaning out back in November. And then, as of recently, as this week, there were reports that they found more documents when they were cleaning out spaces in a garage at his home in Delaware. So what this is a situation where his attorneys contacted the National Archives immediately and said, "Hey, we have these files. Are they yours?" National Archives did not know they were missing, did not know if they were theirs, contacted DOJ. DOJ started an investigation to find out whether or not these files were classified documents or not, found out that they were, and they have since begun an investigation into not only why they were taken, but did anybody see them in the process that wasn't supposed to? Now, what this isn't is what happened with Donald Trump. This isn't a situation where Joe Biden was requested these documents to be returned. This isn't a situation where Joe Biden was subpoenaed to return these documents. Those are the things that led to the raid of Mar-a-Lago with Donald Trump. Because he was requested to return documents, he didn't. He was subpoenaed, and he only returned some. And then somebody else called him out, or and kind of called, the National Archives and said, "Hey, there are a lot of files down here. Y'all still classified files. Y'all are missing," which the National Archives already knew they were missing, and hence why they had the raid on Mar-a-Lago. So the two cases aren't really the same at all. They're similar because they both involve classified information. The difference could be intent. Now, the thing is, with Donald Trump, we don't know the whole story, and we don't know the whole story about Joe Biden. This information could change by the end of the end of next week. We could find out that the National Archives, did request these files from Joe Biden. We could find things out like that, and I'm all for finding out the facts and the truth about what happened with these files. Because this goes beyond Joe Biden. This goes beyond Donald Trump. The fear I have is who saw the documents who weren't supposed to. Because as I was seeing on the news this morning that was being reported, there are people that can read these documents where you and I would look at it and go, "Oh, that doesn't mean nothing." But there are people out there who were trained to read these documents where they could get names and locations of certain people. And that could lead to them having their life at risk. Especially informants, if informants are mentioned somewhere in some kind of code or something in the file. So this is a serious situation. It's not something to take lightly. And I don't take it lightly myself. I believe Joe Biden needs to be held accountable for it. And what do I mean by accountable? Well, it all depends on the level that it rises to, right? At minimum, I think he should receive an official censure from the Congress. For sure, that's at minimum. Because he shouldn't have had the files, regardless if he took them on accident or not. I hope in the end he will stand up and be like, "Hey, I got him on accident. I didn't mean to," or "Hey, I took him and I meant to." I would love to know one or the other. Now we can have a lot of discussions about stuff, but the one thing I want to talk about right here is, should he be impeached for these files? All I can say is, if Joe Biden is impeached for having files he wasn't supposed to have, especially if it turns out that it was just a big mistake, that nobody informed him that he wasn't supposed to have these files and stuff, that they just happened to randomly be in some of these boxes, then no, I don't think impeachment's required. Now, if he took it on purpose and other people have come across, been able to see these documents, we find out about that, then different story, right? But keep in mind, if you're one of those Trump supporters out there that occasionally stumble upon my channel, think about it. If you impeach Joe Biden or remove him from office for these files, then it kind of means Donald Trump can't run for president, doesn't it? So make up your mind which one you want. Do you want Biden to go down for 12 to 20 files? Or do you want your man to run for president, to actually have a legitimate shot for running for president? You know me, I don't want Joe Biden to be president. I didn't want Joe Biden in the first place. I voted for him, though, because Donald Trump was just terrible. He was terrible to people like myself. He was terrible to my family. He was terrible to everyone I knew, even if they didn't want to admit it. The things his policies did nothing to help America. But I voted for Joe Biden because he seems sane. And I think I made that clear in a number of videos. But at the end of the day, if he did something wrong, hold him accountable. But if you're going to try to go for impeachment in the House or impeachment removal, then maybe you want to make sure who you're looking at voting for in November of 2024. Because if you want to remove a president over a few documents that apparently he didn't know he had, go ahead. But just know that Donald Trump shouldn't be able to be president then. It should disqualify him from even running. In fact, he should already be disqualified from running for public office for the presidency because he was involved in an insurrection. But by all means, if you need to impeach him for it, you need to remove him from office. Go ahead. Do it. We don't care. Literally, liberals and Democrats were not the same as conservatives and Republicans. We're just not. We're not in a cult. We don't care if you investigate the president. Because I kept seeing posts on Facebook and stuff like, "Oh, well, your guy had files he wasn't supposed to have. He should be impeached." Okay, but don't you know that means he could lose his? You could be taken out of office. And the fact is, liberals don't care about this stuff. If he did something wrong, we want him held accountable for it. If that means removed from office, then you do. Do I believe he should be impeached? No. Do I think removal from office would be absolutely asinine? For a few files? Yes. But if it becomes warranted, then you do what you have to do. But to sit there and act like he did something so wrong while ignoring what Donald Trump did is absolutely hypocritical. Did Donald Trump do something wrong? Yeah. Did Joe Biden do something wrong? Yeah. Are they exactly the same? No. Reasoning matters. The reason behind why things happen matters. Anyways, this has been the Big Grand Show. I'll see you down the road. I'll bring you more information on this next week, along with a video over some other topics that I've been wanting to do. But this week I just haven't been able to have the time to do the research on them because of trying to keep up with this. Anyhow, y'all have a great day. I'll see you down the road.